All right, welcome into Run the Damn podcast. I'm Rob Snyder alongside Craig Kolodny. We're going to be coming to you weekly talking about mostly NFL reaction, anything in sports that interests us, plus a little bit of a Boston flair to it, because that's where we're located and that's what we're doing here. So first off, we're going to do three things today. We're going to do bold predictions for the Patriots. We are going to do our favorite overs or unders for the NFL season, and then we'll give you our predictions for who makes the playoffs and who makes the Super Bowl. And those predictions, of course, will be correct. So we will start, though, with the hometown team in our area, which is the New England Patriots. Craig, three bold predictions for the season. I'm curious, would you like to do your three and my three, or would you like to go back and forth on these? My vote is for back and forth, by the
All
way.
right, let's do back and forth. A minute. I'll kick us off here, and I'll start with the offensive line because that's really what's going to get people to listen to this podcast. So, my first bold prediction, and I don't really know how bold this is, but I'm going with Garrett Bradbury will not be the starting center by week 4. I'm saying he is going to be benched early. Not sure if it's going to lead to Jared Wilson sliding over, Ben Brown going in, however that shakes out with guard and center, or if they do something that we don't foresee. But Garrett Bradbury was not a productive player last year in Minnesota. By all accounts, he's getting ragdolled at practices by everything you read and some of the video you saw from fans. So I am definitely saying that as my first bold prediction. So what's your first one, Rob?
First of all, I like that. I don't even know if that's that bold, but we'll continue. My
They
first
they
one,
get bold. They will get bolder.
yeah. So my first one is it's going to sound negative at first, but it's actually positive. My first one is Drake May finishes with less than 3,300 passing yards on the season, but also less than 11 picks.
Okay, well,
And
game
my
manager.
my thought on that is that they are going to manage him, and I think the McDaniel's offense kind of is that anyway. I don't think they're going to throw the ball down the field nearly as much as we might want them to. It might be a detriment to them. We'll see. But
Hmm.
a lot of running backs, a lot of short throws, a lot of protecting the football. I feel like there's going to be like a 6-week stretch where Drake May does not turn the ball over this season. He may only throw like 4 touchdown passes in those 6 weeks, but he won't turn the ball over. So that's my first bold prediction.
Okay, I'm on board with that. You look at what Tannehill's numbers were. With Vrabel in Tennessee, you kind of think of how they want to win games, and I think they have talent elsewhere that can help May. And the only thing I don't really believe is the turnovers there. I think May is a lot of work to do to harness those turnovers because I don't know if he is capable of kind of playing that kind of role, but we'll see. We'll
Well,
see.
I went interceptions, not turnovers. That's the
Okay.
big thing.
Okay.
So yeah,
That
fumble away, Drake. Fumble away.
fumble away.
Yeah.
Take that sack. Okay, number 2. I'm going over to the defensive side of the ball. Number 2. Thank you, number 2.
Nice to meet you,
Kaylavon
man.
Chason, who took about all of training camp for me to learn how to say his name, and I'm not
Yeah.
even sure I'm saying it correctly. He's going to lead the team in sacks this year.
It's so funny.
Don't
Go
tell me
ahead,
that.
continue.
Don't tell me that's one of yours. But just looking at this roster, and when I say that, I'm not predicting a 12 sack season from a guy who's going to play probably mostly on third down. But I don't really fully believe in Harold Landry coming off his injury. I think he's going to play, but I don't know how effective he's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of moving parts, and I just see Chason playing a big role on third down, getting to the quarterback. By everything you've seen, he obviously had a good finish last year to his season, and I just feel like he's somebody that has been on the rise throughout camp and the preseason. And I just, Milton Williams, I know he's making 100 million. He's going to see double teams, so he'll make his fair share of plays, but I just don't think you got to kind of think of someone coming off the edge, and I think Chaseon's that guy.
That, for the record, that was my fourth bold prediction that did not make the cut. But yes, I also had Clavon Chason leads the team in sacks. All right, so this is probably my boldest based on how difficult it might be to happen. Although then again, it could absolutely happen. We'll see.
Sure.
Steph Diggs will be benched for the first quarter of a game due to something that happened that week or the game before.
Okay.
I think Stefan Diggs will do something stupid this season that won't get him cut, but it will get him Wes Welker for a quarter.
Yeah, I feel like that's to be honest, I don't feel like that's that bold. I think bold would be like him getting traded. Um, but yeah, he's somebody that it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we have not seen his connection with Drake May, and I'm not suggesting that this is going to be Brady and Randy Moss in '07, but there, in '07 training camp, we didn't see Moss on the field with Brady at all. So when that kind of took off week one, and obviously throughout the whole season, definitely not saying that's going to happen. What I am saying is that if he is not productive early and he's not getting the damn ball, I think it's going to be a recipe for a disaster. I just think he's somebody that is so used to getting the ball, and I just hope May doesn't try to force feed him the ball because, he's kind of that history of being a prima donna wide receiver.
He hasn't talked to the media since the first time he talked to the local media. He has not said a word since God, when was it? It was over a month ago. He had the
Oh
little thing
yeah,
with Diana Rossini, but that's it. I just feel like obviously like that's not a benchable thing, but eventually he's going to have to do something that he doesn't want to do, and I
right.
think it's going to end up becoming an issue. And Vrabel's kind of like no BS with him, so I have a feeling that at some point this season there's going to be a Steph Diggs week where we're like, oh god, like here we go again.
Yeah, let's just hope it's not when they're like 5-1 and he's getting like 3 catches a game for 45 yards. But we're not gonna go there yet. My
No.
third one,
All right, let's
my
hear it.
third bold prediction. This is, I think, as bold. I don't know if this is going to be as bold as your third one, but this is where I went big. I have the Patriots going 8-1 at home this season, and
Wow.
I was gonna say undefeated, but when they have the ninth game, obviously an extra layer in there. Do you know who they have at home, Rob? So,
Not off the top of my head. Why
But
don't you go ahead and fill me
I'll
in?
tell you, but before I get there, they are the last 4 seasons. This is how bold this is. Last 4 seasons, they are 11-22 at home.
Yeah,
They've
no,
won a
they're horrible at
they've
home.
won a third of their games, and I'm
I
not
heard
telling you I think they're going 8-1.
I heard something the other day. It was either been 3 or 4 years since they've won back-to-back home games,
Yeah,
like
I
in a
believe it.
season, which
Yeah,
is disturbing. I
they're
couldn't
they're
imagine having season tickets.
they're 3-13 at home the last 2 years. So,
It's horrible.
anyways, here's their home slate. Obviously, the division games. Vegas,
All right.
very winnable game.
Yep.
Pittsburgh, very
Okay.
winnable game. Carolina,
Mhm.
very winnable game. Cleveland, very winnable game. Atlanta and the Giants.
Okay. I
And then
have them
my
at 2 and 5. No, I'm kidding. They're obviously all winnable games. They
they're
should
bold
be.
they're bold predictions for a reason. Do I
Yeah.
actually think they're probably going 8-1? I mean, sure. I'll stick with it. I feel like if they're going to, we're going to talk predictions later, and I have them in the playoffs. Spoiler alert! But I think they're going to have to do a lot of this at home,
The
and
f
just kind of and ride that crowd, get the fans back into it.
the funny thing is I'm used to the 17 game season by now. Like I feel like all those records like sound normal to me. But when you said 8
Yep.
and 1 at home, I was like, that doesn't sound right. It's like 9 games. Like why
Yep.
would they play 9 home games?
Yep.
All right,
What's your third one?
so NFL,
Yep.
NBA has 3 all NBA teams. NFL has 2 all pro teams.
Okay.
Christian Barmore will be an all pro this year. First team, second team, I don't care. But I
Okay.
think people forget how freaking good Barmore was 2 years ago before
Yeah.
the blood clots and
Yeah.
defensive tackle is one of the hardest positions to be good at. I wouldn't say good at, productive at early in your career.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of the great defensive tackles. It took them time before the actual production went up. Barmore had 8.5 sacks his third year in the league. That is nothing to
Yeah.
sneeze at. I mean,
For his role. Yeah.
that's a ridiculous number for the interior for a guy that's in his third year. And last year was just a wash. And he's shown there hasn't been like a Barmore's out today because of medication has to, it's like it seems like the blood clot thing is behind him. It's blood clots, right? I'm getting that right,
Yeah.
right?
No,
Yeah.
it's right. I just have
The last
concerns
thing I wanna
about.
do is,
Yeah.
just
No.
get that
No.
wrong.
You got that
But
right.
I think I know Milton Williams is getting the free agent money. I think
Sure.
he'll be kind of on and off the field. I think Barmore's going to be a stud. So I'm all in on the Christian Barmore comeback player of the year type year. I don't think he'll get it because they'll find some quarterback to give it to, or DeMar Hamlin will be nominated for the third year in a row.
Well, it's a good thing that Barmore fits the scheme, or else he would get released or traded. Or I mean, I can't believe some of these guys. Like, I know it was more last week, but the Peppers thing just blows my mind that it actually transpired that way. I just I know it's. I mean, that would have been a bold prediction to release one of your starting safeties. I just I'm very fascinated with Barmore and Landry and Chason and Spillane. Like, what is this Terrell Williams defense, and how is it gonna play out? Because they have made some curious moves back there, and I think they're relying on some guys like a Barmore and obviously Milton Williams to anchor it. But I'm a little confused by some of the moves they've made on the defensive side of the ball lately.
Yeah, it's funny. It was like the offseason felt so good. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like this little pivot where like you can't get the receiver you want. You can't get the offensive lineman what you want. So instead of like whining, complaining, signing guys that don't fit, you just load up on the other side of the ball and keep loading up on it. But then I keep looking at the roster and I'm like, are they that good on that side of the ball? Like it's hard. It's becoming harder and harder to tell than it was after free agency. I don't know if that's just that we've had time to digest it, or if it's a little bit more underwhelming than we thought it might be.
It, and some of it we just haven't seen. Like we've barely
Yeah.
seen Carlton. To be honest, but maybe you don't need the safeties to do a whole lot if you're generating as much pressure, on the quarterback as you expect. And can they
Yeah.
stop the run? Are they too light now in certain areas where teams are just getting 5, 6, 7 yards a pop on them?
Yeah. Ashton Genty, week one. We'll find out
Yep.
pretty early.
Yep.
You want to move on to win totals?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do some win totals. So this can be over, can be under. Just your favorite three where you're like, no, this is happening. I slam this hard. And by the way, we
Yep.
are not don't tail us. I don't
Yes. No.
We're not
This is
geniuses. Yeah.
well. They say geniuses pick green,
Yeah, that's true. But you didn't pick it.
but I didn't pick it. All right, first one. I'll get us going. We'll alternate, go
All
back and
right.
forth. I have the Bills over 11.5.
Wow. All right. This is
And
one
here's
if someone like put in like a knife to my neck and said pick the Bills, I think I would go the under. So sell
okay.
me.
Here I'm going to sell you. They face obviously the 6 games in the division, which they're going to be favored in all of them, depending on when
Yeah, they should be.
depending on how the season goes, but presumably favored in all of them. Let's say they go 5-1 there. 6-0 definitely in play. They face the NFC South, which year after year is not traditionally a good division.
Mhm.
A lot of winnable games in there, no matter how good any of those 4 teams play. The Bills, as long as Josh Allen is playing, they'll be fine.
Yep.
They also play Cleveland. They play Pittsburgh. Again, teams that are not overly talented.
Yep.
And then their 3 toughest games: Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City, all at home.
Yep.
So figure 2-1 out of those 3. If they were all on the road, maybe 1-2 or 0-3 for those games.
Yeah.
But Philly, Baltimore, KC, I think they win 2 of those 3. I just think the math adds up for them to get to 12.
I'm just not a Bills believer this year the way other people are. I think seen a lot of people pick them for the Super Bowl, and I'm like, I think they're one of those like window is passing us by teams, and I don't see them doing things differently enough year to year to
Yep.
sell me that this is going to be the year. I think they
Okay.
need a new coach. To be honest with you, I'm not a Sean McDermott guy, and
I
he
think
seems
this
to.
is last year, I feel like,
He
if
plays
they don't
Kansas
win it all.
City. He plays Kansas City the same way every single time they play them. And it's like, dude, like you can't just sit and cover one. Like it doesn't work like that. And the Chiefs scored over 30 points one time last season. Once the whole season, and it was the
Against
AFC Championship game.
but why do they beat him in the regular season and then can't beat him in the playoffs?
I
If
you
the
know,
defense can't be the defensive scheme fully.
my guess I mean, look, it could be a number of things, but it feels like whenever Buffalo plays KC in the regular season, it feels like the Bills Super Bowl a little bit.
Sure.
And then the AFC title game when they play each other, it's obviously like both teams Super Bowl and in a way, in a sense.
Sure. Yeah.
So I feel like when Kansas City's up to it the same way Buffalo is, they beat them.
Yeah. Oh,
All right.
I'll have thoughts on all this shortly, but give me your first. Give me your first over under.
You have Kansas City under, don't you? Here's my first one. Washington Commanders under 9.5.
Okay.
They were, I think, something like
Speaking like a true Eagles fan.
I think they were. I wish I had the number in front of me. They were something ridiculous in one-score games last year. I don't even think they lost a one-score game last year. No,
Sure.
no, I don't think they did.
And them and the Chiefs won like every close game.
Yeah, they were number 1 in the league in, like, 4th down efficiency by a landslide, like, things that usually regress to the mean.
Sure.
They won a game on a Hail Mary. They
Yep.
won a game on a missed two-point conversion. They won a game week 2 when the Giants kicker got hurt and they had to go for 2 on every single touchdown and missed all of them.
Yep.
They've I And they're surrounding the way that they're improving Jaden Daniels' roster around him, improving, is by
Yep.
getting older. You know, they have the oldest roster in the NFL in the last 13 years. They have like an average age over 28. They have 25 players over 30. I don't like the fact that they're building around Jaden Daniels by giving 1-year deals to all these older guys. I don't believe in Von Miller anymore. I don't believe in Deebo Samuel anymore. I think they're total team regression. I think the Dan Quinn backwards hat culture, I think that
Shtick.
is fleeting. I think Cliff Kingsbury is fleeting.
Yep.
Everything about the Commanders screams 1 year. Now, look, Jaden Daniels is going to be good his whole career. Should be.
Right.
And, like, there's no reason that they can't bounce back. But it screams 1 year, like, elevator to the top. And
Yeah.
then they'll regress to the mean, I think, more than anybody. So
Well,
I am
when have
anti-Commander.
when have they had a sustained run too? God, the last 20 years. I mean, even going back to like RG3, obviously I know he got hurt, but they don't historically in the last couple decades at least have never really put it together back to back years. So
Yeah, like, and they cut Jonathan Allen and signed Javon Kinlaw to like 15 million a year. Like, their best defensive players are Bobby Wagner, who's old,
right,
Marshawn Lattimore, who might be cooked, and he was not good once he got traded to them.
right,
Von Miller's old as hell. Like, they're not Frankie Louvu's good, but like, I don't look at their defense as anything tremendous. Their offensive line is not all that great.
yeah,
They did a really good job of scheming around a bad offensive line last year. They traded Brian Robinson, so like, I don't really know how good their running game is going to be. It's a I think they're so due to regress. Not due, they have one good year, but I just think that the way they're built, they are kind of built to regress.
sure, okay. So my second over under, I have the over on the Commanders wins. No, I'm just kidding. I have the Bengals, the Bengalis, 9.5. We going
Over.
over. We going over.
I like the Bengals.
Last 4 years, they've had at least 9 wins. So I need them to just, somehow win a half game more.
Yeah,
I just think the way they've treated the preseason this year, obviously historically they've had bad starts last couple of years. My God, they lost to Gerard freaking Mayo week 1 last year in a barn burner in Cincinnati, 16 to
no,
10, cost them the playoffs. I just think they won 5 in a row to end last year. I think the Hendrickson thing, I don't know why he's so happy with that small raise considering how
yeah,
good he is, but he seems happy. The vibes seem happy. Chase is obviously going to have a monster year. Higgins is back. Burrow, the Gasicki, who had a nice year for them, even though he, was not so great here. Not sold on the defense, but again, they're playing Cleveland, Pittsburgh a couple times. I didn't go through their whole schedule. I just think Burrow, I believe in Burrow. Obviously, if he gets time, which is the big if, has been the
yeah,
last or his whole career. I don't know. I just feel like they are a team that obviously was peaking at the end of last year and probably could have caused some damage if they got in the playoffs. I just think they're a team that has the positions that you need right now: quarterback, two wide
Yeah.
receivers. There's a lot to like there. I think if they have a little bit more focus, I think Zach Taylor's another guy. Like we talked about Sean McDermott, I think he's running out of time. If this
Yeah.
does not turn around fast, he could be on the hot seat by mid to late season. But for now, I'm buying into the Bengals over
Yeah.
9.5.
A quarterback that good, they should get to 10 wins. They should. Um, let's do another under. Your team over, I'm team under right now. I do have one over, but um, if you look at all the over unders and you go by them, no team would be winning less than 5 games, which is
Sure,
not true.
it can't happen.
I have Saints under 4.5.
Yes, I love
Uh,
this. The Aints.
there's no way they're winning 5 games. Uh, it's I could break them down, but I will just say this: they're horrible. Their
Who,
roster is horrible. Their
who
quarterback situation is horrible.
who's starting for them? Is it
Spencer
Spencer?
Rattler
Is it
got the
Radler?
job over Tyler Shook.
Shook.
Um, and Kellen Moore is I don't I never thought he should be a head coach. I don't, and that's not me wanting to keep him in Philly. I just don't think he's head coach material. He's
Yeah,
really doesn't command the room when he talks. He's like a very
soft spoken.
I don't know. He's just not. He just doesn't seem like a head coach to me. I don't think his offense is particularly like elite. Like it's not like Ben Johnson. You're like, oh well, maybe he doesn't
Innovative.
command his room, but he's not. I don't think there's anything innovative about Kellen Moore. So
Sure.
I am. Someone is going to have to lose 14 games, 13 games. It's going to be the Saints.
Okay.
They're not going over 4.5. So I am team under 4.5 in New Orleans.
If you don't pick a team under 4.5 wins, are you really doing an over under segment? I mean that pick right there alone is going to be fun to watch the entire season.
I mean,
I,
4.5, Vegas knows they suck.
of
Everybody knows they
course,
suck.
everyone
So
knows they
you're
suck.
basically like 5 wins is like it's a decent amount of wins. So like, like that it's hard to win 5 times when you're that bad.
Yeah, the only reason I would consider the over, and I'm not, but is that they play in that division and that they're going to have games that are winnable ish.
I'm
Like they
curious.
there's games there that they're going to have a chance in. But yeah, no, I love the pick. Um,
I'm just looking something up real quick.
yeah,
Let me see. What did they do?
look.
That team last year, the Saints. So they went 5-12 and in that division. And they had Derek Carr as their quarterback for the first 5 weeks. They won their first 2 games. Remember, they scored over 44 points in both of their first 2 games. And
Wild.
then Spencer Rattler went 0-3. Carr came back, won 3 more games, and then Spencer Rattler came in and lost the rest of them. So I
That's going to
do
be a
not
QB room that changes
don't
week to week.
yeah,
I
don't
wouldn't
do
say
not play the
Spencer
Saints.
Rattler has a stranglehold on that position.
Yeah.
All right, third over under. I've gone 2 overs
Yeah.
in the AFC. I'm sticking in the AFC, but it's time to go under.
Yeah, there we go.
And I will regret this, but we are taking the Chiefs
All
under
right.
under 11 and a half.
It's 11.5 is a big number.
So they have won at least 12 games. This is how stupid this is. They've won at least 12 games in 6 of the 7 years with Mahomes.
Okay.
But you want their schedule?
Sure.
Obviously, we know their division. So Chargers, Broncos 4 times. Raiders, whatever. Philly,
Yep.
Baltimore, Detroit, Washington, Buffalo, Houston,
It's a
plus
tough schedule.
Chargers, plus Broncos. I obviously didn't include the ones that didn't work for my argument, but that's 6. That's 10 games that are all either tough divisional games for a team that, again, I think this is more about at some point they're going to have what is considered a down year for them. I'm not saying they're
Mhm.
going 4-13, but I just think some of the other teams are catching up to them a little bit. Like I think the Chargers and the Broncos are going to give them tougher games. They were tough on them last year, but it's only getting tougher. It's tough to do this, against the Reed and Mahomes team. But something didn't feel right the way the Super Bowl went last year. They won a ton of games last year that they shouldn't have. I just feel like they are, if the refs don't get in the way, I feel like there's a chance that they land at 10 or 11 wins. I'm still going to pick them for the playoffs. I'm not
Yeah.
going crazy, but and I think they probably still win the division, but
Yeah.
maybe they go 11-6 and win the division.
I mean, I thought last year they were a fraud.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
that's why I think maybe this year is I know they went to the Super Bowl, but I think this year might be a bounce back in the sense of they'll play a little better. I agree their schedule's tough, but I'm not sold on the over or the under, so I have zero
Good.
issue with you taking the under there. And it's fun. It's fun to see the
Yeah.
Chiefs lose some games. My last one. This will take me into my playoff predictions also.
Yep.
I have Rams over 9.5. And
Okay.
really, to me, all you're betting on with the Rams, and it's risky, all you're betting on with the Rams is Matthew Stafford going to stay healthy.
Yep.
Because I think if he stays healthy for the whole season, there's no way they're under 9.5 wins. I think their defense is really good, young, up and coming. I
Yep.
think their offensive line is like average. But Kyron Williams is good. I like Devontae Adams instead of Cooper Kupp on the offense. Puka Nakua. Like
They got
there's
pieces. They got players.
there's nothing, and they're coached well and they have a good quarterback. So there's no way I see zero shot that McVay and Stafford, if Stafford is healthy. And maybe that's why, that's baked into the 9.5. But
It's a big
I,
if.
I see like no reason why they should be under 9.5 if he's healthy. But like I can't I can't hit it. Like I get he's older and has like an existing thing going on,
Yep.
but like if you're not treating over unders as everybody's healthy, then there's no reason you should be touching these,
Right.
right? Like it's like, well, this guy could get hurt. This guy could get hurt. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well,
It's
anyone can get hurt anytime.
not part of the conversation. You
Yeah,
can't assume injury. I will say this. I think McVay is also a coach that if Stafford goes down, I don't think they'll mail in the season, whether that
no,
means getting somebody else or him coaching up.
Garoppolo.
Oh God. Well,
It's
maybe.
Garoppolo.
Yep. I think he could get the most out of Jimmy G. I know that's
Yeah,
crazy, but I don't like Stafford obviously is the the linchpin there, but I think that there's a chance if he goes down that 9.5 isn't just like if Josh Allen gets injured, the Bills aren't going over 11.5.
no,
Like
no
that's
shot.
just
Yeah.
I don't think the Rams would be cooked in a scenario if if Stafford goes down. I think they would still be competitive and win a few games that they probably shouldn't.
Well, while we're on the Rams, should we start with the NFC then for our playoff predictions?
Let's do it. Do you want to go first?
You know
I've
what? I
gone
might as well
first a
go.
couple times.
I might as well go first because it comes right off my over unders.
Yep.
I have the Rams as the 1 seed in the NFC, and it's
Wow.
funny because I'm not the biggest McVay guy. I'm not as big of a McVay guy as other people. I just like that. I like that roster.
Wait,
I really
hold
like the
on.
defense.
It just hit me. You have them the number 1 seed in the NFC.
I do. I have them as the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Rams.
Wow. With a 9.5 win total.
Yeah, no, I have them over that nine and a
No,
half
I
for me.
understand that.
Yeah, I think I think the Rams are in for a big year. I
Okay.
like unlike the Commanders, they surrounded their good quarterback with young talent around him. I know Devontae Adams is older, but like that is a good young defense and they have weapons on offense. And if their quarterback stays healthy, I think they should be there.
Okay.
I have the Eagles too. And their schedule is very difficult. But I just think they're a really good team still.
Yep.
They're also very young. I think they're the third youngest team in the league. Um, and I just kind of believe in what they have going on. The
Yep.
youngest team in the league, I believe, is Green Bay, and they have them as the 3 seed. Parsons helps. I am not a
Yep.
Jordan Love guy. I am not a Jordan Love guy. I want to say that many times as I have Green Bay in the 3rd seed. I am not a Jordan Love guy. But
Got it. Rob Snyder,
they
Jordan Love guide noted.
they seem to have like good-ish regular. It's funny. They went 9-8 in Jordan Love's first year as a starter, made the playoffs, won a game. Everyone went nuts.
Yeah.
Last year, they ended the season with a hideous loss in Chicago to get the 7th seed. So they still haven't really shown up the way they're supposed to, but maybe that's them slowly climbing the ladder. So I'll give them the 3. I
Yep.
got Tampa's the 4. I cannot believe in any other NFC South team. Like
Yep.
you can tell me the Falcons. I'm on year 7 of people telling me how good the Falcons might be, so I'm not doing that again. And then my wild cards, I have the Niners because their schedule is garbage.
Yep. Very easy.
I I have the Detroit Lions, who I think will take a minor step back with just the brain drain that went on there.
Yep.
And so remember, last week you and I talked, and I told you that I think the Dallas Cowboys will make the playoffs.
Yep. You get
I,
a mulligan if you want to.
I have revised that Dallas
That's a fair
Cowboys.
mulligan. That's
Yeah, their defense was already bad,
Yep.
but when you take the one of the better defensive players in the league off of it, then I can't take you
Yep.
seriously anymore.
Yep. That's fair.
I have a surprise here. I have the Seattle Seahawks as the last wild card team in the NFC.
Okay, so you got 3 NFC West teams.
I do. I like the direction they're going. So it's tough. Again, I'm not a Jordan Love guy, but I have the Packers 3. Sam Darnold, obviously. I'm not gonna wave the flag for Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
But I really like Mike McDonald. I think their defense is really good. They can
Okay.
run the ball. So I am going to I think they won 10 games last year too and missed the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah, they did.
I like Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy. So why not take Seattle over Minnesota right here? Are 3 teams really from the north really going to get back in? I'm obviously down on the Commanders. And I looked at the Arizona Cardinals. They have
So
a
did
tough
you have the Commanders out, right? Or you
I had
had
the
them in?
Commanders out. Commanders
Out?
out.
Okay.
Yep, out.
Okay.
I thought about the Cardinals, but their schedule is really hard early and really hard late, which is just such a recipe for not making the playoffs. Is
I'm good.
losing games early and then stalling late. So yeah, so I'm going
Did you
Seattle.
have the Saints getting in on a 10-way tiebreaker with a 3-14 record?
Oh my God, the Saints.
They
No,
should be
Saints are out.
relegated. They should be relegated.
Yeah.
All right.
So from last year, I think the only oh no, I have 2 new teams in. So I have Minnesota out, and I have Washington out. Yeah, of course.
Washington. Yep. Okay. So I did, admittedly, I do not have these ranked. So
Okay,
I don't have seeds, but I have division winners and wild cards.
sure.
So I will work my way across: Eagles winning the
Okay.
NFC East, the Green Bay Packers winning the NFC North. I just
Okay.
think you talked about the brain drain. We're going to see what Dan Campbell can really do here without his coordinators. And the Micah Parsons thing just really, ups the ante in Green Bay. So to me, Packers, which I might regret, but for now, I mean, I can't go back, but they're the NFC North champs. Last week, I proclaimed the Carolina Panthers to be the NFC South division winners, and I'm sticking with it.
I love it.
I'm not changing my pick. I agree with you on the Falcons. Like, how many years in a row are we going to say, "Oh, this is the year"? Maybe Kyle Pitts catches 30 passes this year.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on the Falcons. I'm not really sold on the Panthers, but I think Bryce Young came on at the end of last year. I think he finally figured it out. I think pairing him with Canales, obviously an offensive-minded coach that seems pretty well respected. I just think someone's going to win that division, and we know it ain't. We know it's not going to be the Saints. And I don't really. How many years in a row is Tampa Bay going to win the division just by default because
Yeah.
the other teams suck? Like at some point, one of these teams has to put it together.
Hmm.
I'm predicting it's Carolina this year.
I love it. I love it.
I have the 49ers winning the NFC West.
Yep.
About it last week. One easiest according to records from last year, and obviously things change. You never know how the season's going to play out. I just think that Shanahan's a good coach. I think Purdy is good enough. I don't really believe in him a ton, but between McCaffrey, Kittle, all the other weapons they have there, I just feel like they have the recipe to kind of get back to the top of that division.
Cool.
Wild cards, Lions, they kind of have to be there until they show that they suck again.
Yeah.
But they have enough there talent wise that they should be fine. Whoever the new coordinators are, obviously we'll figure it out. Might be a little slow to start, but they'll get in. I have the Commanders in. I just think Jaden Daniels is a quarterback league, and I just think he's somebody that always makes plays, and no reason to believe he's not going to this year. I do agree with you that they could have been a little fluky last year, but I just think he's good enough. And again, you're looking at some of the competition. You're not picking the Cowboys. You're not picking the Giants.
Yeah,
There's certain other teams in the NFC South you're not picking. So there's only a limited pool of teams. My last pick, keep in mind, as of right now, I do not have your number one seed in the playoffs,
that's true.
but I do now. They're
All
my
right.
seventh. They're my seven seed.
Okay.
I gave serious consideration to the Seahawks, like you did. There's another team that I gave consideration to, and we're gonna find out within 4 weeks, maybe even 2 weeks, if this team has a chance, and that's the Bears. You just don't
Mhm.
you just don't know how it's gonna work with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. They have DJ Moore, they have Adunze, they have they drafted another guy. Um, I forget
Yeah,
who it
that's right.
was, but
I forget it was too.
they have another rookie receiver. They just feel like if not now, when kind of thing. And Caleb Williams again, talent was there. He was the consensus number one pick in a draft with May and Daniels. So I think they have a chance, but I went with McVay, went with the Rams. I think picking the Panthers felt like enough of a leap of faith for me. So I'll stick conservatively and pick the Rams as my final wild card team in the NFC.
All right, sounds good. I'll go into my AFC.
Sure.
I have Baltimore as the one seed. I am
Okay.
a Ravens believer this year. I
Yep.
thought Lamar Jackson had one of the best years ever last year,
Sure.
and I actually thought they kind of got, even though they lost, I thought they got over a little bit of their playoff hump last year with the way they played in to come back in that Bills game, and obviously Andrews had the drop, but I
Right.
think they're like not afraid of the postseason as much as they used to be. I have Kansas City 2,
Okay.
and I have Buffalo 3. And I know we kind of discussed both teams a little bit. I think you're much more of a Buffalo believer than I am, and I'm more of a Kansas City believer than you are, but that's fine. I think they're interchangeable. I
Yep.
have Houston 4 because again, same kind of thing as the Bucks, but like who's overtaking them in the South?
Right.
I also thought for having such a meh regular season last year that playoff win was a nice one, and I thought they played decent against Kansas City.
Yep.
My 3 wild cards. This was tough, by the way. I have Denver, who I like, which is funny because I used to hate Sean Payton, but I've been really impressed by his comeback into the NFL.
Yep.
I have Cincinnati,
Yep.
and I'm sticking with my other team coming out. I have the Miami Dolphins in the playoffs
The
as the
fish.
7 seed. I think there might be a like let's win it for the coach. There's a chance it goes the complete opposite way and they're under the Saints, but I don't know. I still believe in the offense they run. I still believe in Tua when he's healthy. It's a shot in the dark. Their schedule's not super difficult, so I am going to go with the Dolphins as the 7 seed, which means I have
No Chargers.
the Chargers out,
No Patriots.
no Patriots,
No
and no
Steel.
Steelers.
No
Yeah,
Steelers. Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Screw the Chargers, by the way,
We'll see. Okay. Yeah.
Anti-Chargers.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Uh. All right. Again, no seeds here. I just did the division winners.
Yeah.
The Bills,
Okay.
Ravens,
Yeah.
Chiefs, Texans. Again, pretty
It's hard to
chalk.
it's hard to pick anything else.
It tell me which team. I mean, I just I don't see it across the board. So that's fine. Those are my four. Wild card. I said earlier I'm all in on the Bengals.
Mhm.
I think they're getting in. I have them as my first wild card. I have the Broncos as my second wild card,
Mhm.
and my New England Patriots as the third wild card. I can't
I
have them going 8-1 at home and not making the playoffs.
I love that we both left the Chargers out of the playoffs.
We
Nothing
did.
makes me happier.
They were in consideration. That was really it.
Yeah,
There was no other AFC South. There was no thoughts beyond Texans. Um, Steelers are going to be dreadful. I can't wait to watch that debacle.
yeah,
Um, and then the Browns aren't happening, and then the Dolphins and the Jets for me aren't happening. So and the Raiders as well. So there wasn't really a whole lot to pick from there. I just the Patriots made it, and I said it last week, and I said it earlier. It's just the schedule. It's not even that I think they're that talented.
yeah.
I just think the schedule is so soft, and it's one of those things where you just have to be better than the other team to make the playoffs.
Mhm.
You don't need to win by 30. And I mentioned earlier Vegas, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Cleveland, Atlanta, uh, New York. I mean, there's a lot of winnable games in there. And if Vrabel is the coach that we all think he is, or that we've been led to believe, I just I think there's a path to 10 wins there. And maybe 9 gets you in.
So what kept the two of us from both having the Chargers in the postseason? Why? Because like I feel like I am kind of sick of the Herbert talk, and maybe that's kind of led me towards this decision, which is maybe a little unfair. But like I think Herbert is a very skilled quarterback.
Hmm.
I don't think he's necessarily a great at the position. I've seen a lot of passes where he should put touch on the ball and doesn't. I think he throws the ball
Yep.
like 1,000 miles an hour,
And
which is
zips
great
it
for
in
your
there.
arm strength, but I don't,
Doesn't help your
maybe
teammate.
maybe his receivers have drop issues because he doesn't throw the most catchable ball. I don't know. Losing Rashawn Slater for the year is absolutely killer. Again, I feel like every year they
Yep.
have one debilitating offensive line injury.
It's killer. For
Kills
me, it
them.
was also just the math, and maybe them and the Broncos are interchangeable, or maybe the Chiefs come back even further. Which again, I
Yeah.
don't think it's happening. But it's more just the math. Getting 3 teams in one division is hard. Um, they're going to beat up on each other a bit, and again, that's why I have the Pats kind of sneaking in there. I think the schedule allows for something like that, and I don't really, I be surprised if the Chargers got in over the Patriots or the Broncos? Absolutely not. But it feels like Herbert is just the guy who puts up like, is he Matt Stafford early in his
Yeah.
career? And eventually needs to go to another team to get over the hump.
Yeah, it's funny, they took the ball out of his hands a lot. Like, last year,
Yeah,
he had an unbelievable touchdown interception ratio, which is funny because he threw more picks in the one playoff game than he did in the regular season.
right.
But, like, they played it very safe with him last year, which I think shows you that maybe even they are like, "We gotta dial it back with this guy a little bit."
Yep.
And, he seems like a great dude, and, like, again,
Yeah,
he's got great tools, like, there's a lot to like about him, but, like, the position calls for not necessarily being toolsy all the time. And I
right.
think that there's times where I'm just like, I don't really see it the way other people see it. Like, and the playoffs obviously have a big microscope. Like, I remember watching that game and thinking, like, he just drops back and throws the ball as hard as he can.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not sold.
he's somebody that has all the tools. Is he somebody that can, you know, again, like you said, he kind of reined it in last year, under Harbaugh, and I don't know. I mean, not everyone can make the playoffs, and
Yeah.
that's just the reality of it. And we'll look back in 4 months and see how many of the 14 we each got correct.
Before we go, do you have a subject to change Super Bowl pick?
Very much subject to change, but I have your Eagles getting back,
Okay.
but they're not winning it this year. They're losing it too. You think I'm going to say Buffalo, don't you?
No, I don't.
I'm saying Baltimore.
All right. Well,
I have an all bird Super Bowl, and I think Lamar finally gets his one. I think he's just been he's been close many times. It's going to be interesting to see with him and Allen because their careers are just going to keep going side by side until one of them finally breaks through, and then Burrow's obviously there too.
I
But
don't know if you can see this. There it is.
Ravens over Eagles.
Yeah, I had the same one.
Yep,
Same one.
yep.
Yeah.
It's just hard. There's just not that many good teams. I mean, I did consider the Bills strongly,
Yeah.
but the Ravens are just, again, to me, They're well coached. As much as I don't really like the Harbaughs, they're well coached. Lamar is just such a game changer. Again, even though I don't truly love that style of quarterbacking, it's just again I come from the Brady fan base and more of the pocket passer type. But he just wins. He just makes plays. He makes guys miss, and he just obviously has struggled in his career in the playoffs, but I just one of these years he has to break through. Peyton Manning broke through. All these guys eventually do. The really good ones do. Multiple time MVP winner. I just feel like this is his year.
He threw 41 touchdowns and 4 picks
4
last year.
picks, which is crazy.
It's insane.
And
So
he
I
didn't
do.
win. And he didn't win MVP.
He should have. He also ran for like 900 yards and
Think
whatever.
about
But
that. He had
I know
41 and 4 and didn't win the MVP.
yeah, it's kind of stupid. I think they were just tired of giving it to him. But
Yeah.
I think he might be the best player week to week in the league. So we'll see. I do like them. It was hard to pick an NFC team. I
Yeah.
kind of like went back to the Eagle. I think maybe the experience brings them back, but that was a tough pick because I again don't believe in the Packers. I had the Rams as the 1 seed, but like I don't know. It's hard to put them there. I think the
Eagles
Niners get in on because their schedule, in my opinion, not because they're a great team right now. So,
but you also project that you're trying to look at teams that are going to have, I know only 1 seed gets a bye, but you're trying to project a team that's going to be top 2.
yeah,
When you make a Super Bowl pick, and I just think that we talked about the Packers a little bit and how we're not sure if the Lions could still be the best team in that division. Obviously, the NFC West most likely not going to produce a number 1 seed. I mean the South, and then the West. You know, we have 2 different NFC West winners, so
yeah, sure,
I just feel like the Eagles are that safe pick to finish with a top 2 seed. So
yeah,
it's just, again, it's about figuring out the path to actually get to the Super Bowl.
yeah. Be their 3rd Super Bowl in 5 years.
Yeah,
Which is pretty impressive.
as long as the Chiefs aren't there again. Now
Yeah,
I know what it
right.
was like for other
I
people
know.
watching the Pats all these years, but it's like, all right, enough already.
Chiefs also got low key boring.
Yeah,
Mahomes is great, but they stopped throwing the ball like more than 10 yards down the field, and it got a little boring last year with
yeah,
the Chiefs. They
yep,
were not as exciting as a team as they were the past years. All right, well, with that, next week we will have games to react to. The greatest thing in the world, games to
absolutely.
react to. My favorite thing. I'm like praying that we're gonna have like one great finish, one complete referee debacle,
Oh, that'll definitely happen. Wait for
and
the
one
virtual reality, the virtual
oh,
first down marker thing. That's gonna be a shit show.
and then I need like one upset that makes us completely overreact, and then one day we'll look back on week 1 and be like, I can't believe we thought that this team was gonna suck because they lost this one
The
game.
Saints won by 30? What happened?
Saints scored 44 and 47 in their first 2 games last year,
It's wild.
and they still almost didn't hit their win total.
Yep.
So, yeah. All right, well, with that, Craig, I will see you next week.
Sounds good.